In the newest Call of Duty playlist update, they have brought back solos. Finally, we can play again without having to worry about playing with AI. A core game mode that has been in Warzone since the beginning is finally back. But for how long, who knows? In the most recent Modern Warzone tweet, we found out that this is simply a playtest. Now, they are testing out the fact of regular solos and regular solo casuals, basically collecting the data of the two and seeing which one will win out. Now, if I was a betting man, I already know which one is going to win, and unfortunately I think it's going to be Warzone Casual, but I'm going to show you exactly why and how Call of Duty can fix that, and they have everything in front of them. They don't need to just use the data, and there's so much more that they could be doing in order to find out how to properly balance this Warzone and casual game mode. So let's break down the tweet. I mean, they said that 3 times more players were playing casual than the regular solo game mode. They also saw notable improvements in queue times and ping stability. It was popular with everybody, existing and new players. So, I mean, it's hard to argue a lot of that, right? I guess we'll start off with the beginning of why casual mode is so popular. I think a lot of people play casuals because it's easy, right? And that's obvious from the beginning. It's a casual game mode. It's supposed to be easy. But what benefit do you get from an easy game mode? Well, if you're leveling up guns, that's one of the main reasons I, as a new or casual player, would be playing this game. If I'm new and I have nothing leveled up, why in the world would I go play Warzone regular? If I could play Warzone casual where the XP is very similar, I know that they have dialed it back a little bit recently, so it's a little bit harder, which tells me that I'm somewhat on the right path. If you're taking away XP, you're really only hurting the players that are benefiting from getting XP. At this point in time in the game, you're not hurting me by lowering the XP because I've already unlocked everything I need to get. I'm Master Prestige, so I might get my Prestige icons a little bit later than I normally would, but it doesn't really hurt me all that much. You're only hurting the people that are grinding for those guns, that are getting those guns leveled up, the new guns and the old ones. It doesn't matter which ones it is, and that takes a lot of time. And if people are playing casuals a lot, you just made them play casuals a lot more now because you're lowering the XP. So that's something in and itself that I think Call of Duty needs to address. I like grinding for things, don't get me wrong. I like the fact that no matter what meta change they have done, I've grinded for, I have all the attachments and the camo for it. But a lot of people do not have that kind of time. They maybe have an hour or two to play the game, and I don't think they want to play that hour or two leveling up a meta gun that by the time they may get it leveled up, that it's going to change, that meta is going to change, and then they have to start on a whole different gun. I know what they're trying to do, and this is just all part of the data. The more time that they have to spend leveling up the gun is aka more time on the game, which makes sense, but I don't think it makes for a positive experience. I don't think that the casual or the new player coming into the game will have a great experience first and foremost when they're just being introduced to the game. Alrighty, moving on. Another reason why I think that a lot of people play this game mode is camo grinding. I mean, it is a very extensive, long grind, and this takes hours upon hours. Now, I know it's a little bit easier now that they've added a few guns, so you don't have to do all the extensive launchers, pistols, and stuff like that, but it still takes a long time. And in casuals, it makes it a lot easier, especially if you're trying to get it on harder to use guns like the launchers, the knives, and melee weapons. If you're using secondaries as well, it just makes it a whole lot easier. I don't necessarily think that anything needs to be done about the camo grind. I love the camo grind. I think it's fun. Casual made the camo grind a whole lot easier, and that's exactly why I like casual mode. And I know a lot of people probably only play casual mode for that very reason. You don't have to be good at the game to do the camo grind, and I think that even if you are doing the camo grind, you still want to make it as easy as possible, and casual mode does just that. It makes everything a whole of a hell of a lot easier, and it just makes sense. Another reason why people are playing casual mode is because they're trying to get away from cheaters. Black Ops 6 is probably one of the more infested cheater games that we've had in a while, dating back to when I can remember as maybe as bad as Caldera in early Verdansk days too. Like, it was really bad then. It is just as bad now, if not worse. I think it might just be worse just because of the fact of everything that the cheaters can combat and actually do to people now, as far as shadow banning them or perma banning them, or actually doing a lot more to you than just hacking on you. It's a whole thing right now. I don't know exactly what Ricochet is doing, but that is one of the things that Call of Duty can do, is that they can fix Ricochet, they can give us a better anti-cheat, but instead it seems like they'd rather have fake AI people on a game mode that cheaters probably aren't going to play. A lot of people just don't want to get hacked on, and you're less likely to run into a cheater in casual mode than you are in, say, ranked or even in pub. Now, I don't think that they're going to fix Ricochet anytime soon, so I definitely think that casual mode is going to benefit from a lot of these people trying to get away from cheaters. And man, I do not blame anybody trying to get away from cheaters. I'm trying to get away from cheaters. I even went as far as to play on console only ranked just to get away from all these cheaters. One of the funny things that they talked about in that tweet was queue times. And I think it's just kind of ironic because the reason why their queue times are so fast is because of SBMM. It's literally their fault that their queue times are so high. In order for you to find a public match, you go through a 8 to 12 step process of you trying to find a game, and then the SBMM puts you in a perfect match. And SBMM does a good job of trying to keep you on the game, but because it does all of that in the metric, it does take a lot longer to find a solo match. I guarantee that if they cut back on the SBMM just a little bit, that they would find a match faster. Case in point, there's been times where people have gone back into older Call of Duties before the SBMM was so strict, and they were able to find a game faster than they were in the newest Call of Duty game. It doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me. If you're playing in the newer Call of Duty, there's definitely more players on. We know there's more players on, but because they're constricting you at the SBMM, but lo and behold, they take away a little bit of SBMM and put you in casual mode, you're finding matches a whole lot quicker. Go figure, right? Another thing they talk about is ping, which I find so laughable. It is so funny that they're talking about ping when we just talked about SBMM, right? I know that SBMM does not care about your ping. I know this because I play on the West Coast and you will never find a West Coast lobby. I know this because I play in the morning and I never get a West Coast lobby. I believe that they have West Coast servers on a time lot of some sort. It's because of how often I don't get it. I never see it unless it's around the time around 12 to 3 in the afternoon. If I'm even on at that point, it just doesn't make a whole lot of sense. Either that or the SVM is so cranked up that all the good players are on the Midwest to East Coast lobbies. If you're going to bank on a casual game mode to give you better ping, I think you need to look a little bit further and maybe look at your servers. I don't know exactly what's going on, but I know we are on old tick servers that could probably be updated, and I'm sure that there's a lot more money you could be putting into your servers to help that ping issue. The servers have never been the best, and I know that updating the servers would definitely improve the quality of life of everyone involved. Not just the casuals, but also the sweat as well. Anybody who's trying to play this game doesn't want to lag, doesn't want desync. There's a lot of that going on in Warzone right now. I think that a server update is long overdue, but again, along with anti-cheat, I really don't think we're going to see that. So of course, they're going to highlight it in this casual game mode and make casual look a whole lot better. I'm not here to tell you that casual mode is terrible. I actually like casual mode. I like camo grinding. It's fun to play into, especially if I'm playing with a couple of IRLs and they're just trying to have fun and groove and not have to sweat so hard, or maybe they need to level up their guns. It doesn't really matter. It is a place for Warzone Casual, and I think there will continue to be a place for Warzone Casual. The problem that I have with it is if you're going to start taking away core mode. I think a lot of people tend to like that solo experience, that 1v1 action. Not everybody has somebody to play with all the time, and they just want to play solo against real other people, and not everybody wants to play AI. I know AI has a big part in this world coming up, and there's no real getting away from that. I don't really want to play against AI. I want to play against another person. I like trying to fight the best of the best, or even just somebody else and trying to best them in a game. Coming from someone who played a lot of Fortnite in its heyday, when they switched AI over into Fortnite, it definitely wasn't my favorite. I didn't like it. I don't think that the only solution to playing a competitive mode or playing against people should be ranked. And I think that's where the argument is for me. It shouldn't just be either play casual or play ranked. I know that there's a middle ground. It's kind of hard to see what they're going to do down the road. It does look, though, like casual mode is definitely taking over, and something I'm okay with as long as we don't get rid of other core game modes. But the way I feel doesn't really matter all that much. I know Call of Duty is definitely going to do what they think is best for the game, what's best to monetize the game, what's best to see how long they can get players to keep playing, and casual seems to be that mode for them. So I know it's going to come at the detriment of core game modes such as solos, and I know that the only way we're probably going to be able to play real players is going to be ranked. I think it's going to follow that same Fortnite pattern. At least that's what my prediction is. I honestly hope I'm wrong. I can just see this coming sooner rather than later. I think the writing is all over the wall. But I would definitely love to hear what you guys have to say about it. Let me know what your guys' thoughts are down low in the comments on what you guys think about all this. I appreciate you guys coming in. Please leave a like, subscribe, and keep those post notifications on so you don't miss any more videos like this one. And I'll catch you guys in the next one.